Illuminate themselves with blood.
And welcome back. Well, most people became familiar with Les Misérables in the 80s when it became a hit musical. Almost 30 years later, the movie is getting a lot of Oscar buzz.
Brian Jay is a national syndicated film critic. He's here with his reviews of Les Mis and other films opening this weekend. Welcome back. Nice to see you. You guys finally got to see this movie. You've been waiting.
It's true. The movie is this week actually opened on Tuesday, Christmas Day, and I'm so thrilled to report because I love Les Mis. I mean, just hearing the music right now as you were playing it, it's so rousing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It broke records. It broke the box office record for biggest pre-sale on Christmas Day ever, which is huge for a musical because as a genre, that normally doesn't do so well.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And so it lived up to your expectations?
It really did. It's outstanding. Tiffany came with me when we did a movie club for it with some viewers of the Morning Blend, and everyone loved it. Some people were ranking it as one of their favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you love it that much also?
A lot of people didn't know if it was going to be wall-to-wall singing, and it is. Just like the actual, it's true to the musical in that respect, that it's very much an adaptation of it. But it's phenomenal. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Hugh Jackman is so good, and he says this is the role he was born to play.
He was.
He's just so good as Jean Valjean. And then Anne Hathaway, we have to talk about her. She's so incredible in this role. Her mother played the role on national tour, you know, I think before she was born. And the reason why I feel she is a lock, if you're, you know, voting in any Oscar polls coming up, is because not only is she outstanding in comparison to every other supporting actress nominated in her category this year, but she's outstanding in comparison to everyone else who's ever sung the role of Fantine before her. Patti LuPone, every other great singer in the world, even like Susan Boyle, who does a great rendition of the song, and she makes this her own. So I feel for that reason, she is a lock for Best Supporting Actress.
Wow. Absolutely, I would agree with you. And I Dreamed a Dream is for me, I thought one of the most moving moments in all of cinematic history.
It's all in one take, it's all in close-up. What she accomplishes in that song is just incredible.
And they sing live.
They do, which is really, really amazing.
We got to talk a little bit about Russell Crowe, because that was the one thing that Tiff mentioned to me after seeing the movie. You felt like he really wasn't that great in this movie, right?
He's a very good actor, and I think you'll probably agree with that. He was not my pick. He would not be my pick for that role.
And I agree with you. And here's why I think Russell Crowe is the weak link in Les Mis. And I still think it's outstanding and worth seeing, you know, on the big screen. But it's that he plays Javert, and Javert is normally a very compelling part of the story. And if you see the show on Broadway, Javert is very strong.
He's the villain.
Yeah, and he sort of plays that role because he's seeking, you know, Hugh Jackman's character throughout the film. And he's a little bit weak in the movie emotionally and doesn't connect as well. So Javert, you leave the film feeling like it's not that big of a role when it really is a much bigger role when you see it on stage. So I think he's a little bit of the weak link in the film.
Can he sing?
He does. He sings quite well, but he's just a little bit less emotional in his performance in comparison to Anne Hathaway and Eddie Redmayne and Hugh Jackman.
Which surprised me because you said his background was musical theater.
It is. He does have that, but yeah, I think we just have to agree that this time he just didn't pull it off as well.
Yeah,
still worth seeing though. Still brilliant movie.
Absolutely, and altogether it's perfect. And he was phenomenal. He just wasn't my favorite pick for Javert. Stars is one of my favorite songs. So, okay, moving on. How about, is it Django Unchained?
The D is silent.
Ooh, fancy.
This is the new one from writer-director Quentin Tarantino, and if you've seen any of his stuff, this is more of the same. Inglourious Bastards, Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction. His movies are controversial and funny and long and exciting and intense and very, very bloody.
And this is true for this one.
Oh yeah, and it's like explosive blood. It's like splashy blood, like buckets. I mean, almost over the top and too much. And there are a couple times you'll have to turn away from the screen, but it's really an exciting movie.
Leonardo DiCaprio did an interview on the Today Show, and I just saw parts of it. He's not one that Quentin Tarantino usually picks for his movies. Did you think he did a good job in this?
He's outstanding, and he's the bad guy. And this is a really bad guy. He's a slave owner, and he's just pure evil. And it's really interesting to see Leonardo DiCaprio in that kind of a role, because he's normally not the bad guy. He's more, you know, the love interest or the hero. And he's outstanding in this movie. Jamie Foxx is incredible. Christoph Waltz, who won the Oscar for the last time he worked with Quentin Tarantino in Inglourious Bastards, Best Supporting Actor. actor, is also in this in a similar role. He played a Nazi in the last one that he won the Oscar for, and he's equally kind of evil, but on the good side this time.
Okay.
So he plays a bounty hunter, and he's just outstanding. Quentin wrote the role for him, and it's a really, really great movie that if you can tolerate any kind of violence and controversy, it's really worth seeing in the theater.
So it is a see it.
Absolutely.
Okay, how about Parental Guidance?
This movie is fun. This is Billy Crystal and Bette Midler. It's a family movie. It's really appropriate for all ages. I saw it with my mom, who loved it, who kept saying, "This reminds me of me and your father." Exactly.
Now we've got to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's my family in a nutshell. But there are a lot of themes about parental guidance and grandparental guidance, and Bette and Billy are great. It just makes you want more of them in new material. You know, you don't see them working enough because there is not enough new material for actors of a certain age anymore in Hollywood, but they're really fantastic in it.
Didn't Billy Crystal fashion this after his own family experience, or kind of tell his family's story through this movie?
Yes, and you can see it because there's just great chemistry between him and Bette and between him and the children, and some of the stories everyone will be able to relate to whether you have kids or not, and it's just a really fun, it's more of a rental, especially in comparison to Les Mis and Django and the other Oscar contenders that are in theaters right now, but it's a really fun, cute movie.
He has two beautiful daughters. I saw a picture of them recently. What's funny is Bette Midler's daughter, I think, looks so much like
Identical.
her. I mean, the nose, the whole,
Spitting image.
it's just wild.
It's like Goldie Hawn and Kate Hudson.
Yes,
Totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's great. So that one's a see it.
That's a rental.
Oh, that's a rental.
Just in comparison to what else is offered right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Got it. Well, you can like Ryan J on Facebook, follow him on Twitter, and for his full movie reviews, check out his website. It's ryanjreviews.com. Great to see you. Happy New
thanks,
Year.
Ryan.
Happy New Year, too.
Thank you.